No, I can't do it.
Heard about the Omega unit. They were sent to study a staircase. Well, nobody came back. It's terrifying. Unit 5, do you copy? Copy. No incidents here.
Mr. Mason, you've had enough time to come to a decision. We hope you are ready to cooperate.
I don't want to have anything to do with the SCP Foundation. The things you do to people for the sake of your experiments.
Mr. Mason, you have to understand, your story is very important to us. Your unique experience, the fact that you managed to survive, all help save a lot of lives. Would you really let innocent people die? You should consider, no, you must tell us everything.
Very well. If that's how you want to play it, I'll tell you everything I saw. It was my mistake. My arrogance was my undoing. I was so sure it was just fairy tales. Do you hear me? Nothing but a horror story to scare little kids.
That will calm you down.
My name is Alex Mason, and I am the senior manager of the iLight Electric Company. It was my first business trip, so far away from home. I was sent here, to Japan. We had a simple task, to increase the production without harming the locals in any way. I even thought it would be way too easy, even for a newbie like me. If only I had known. I went from the airport straight to the factory. After a short tour, I was surprised to realize that the small factory was the only facility in town that gave people jobs. It used 90% of the energy resources as well. However, its performance was very poor because only half of its potential was being used. One would think fixing that would be easy. Increase the power and problem solved. I'd be a hero and get to go home. Still. Then we learned what differences in mentality truly meant. My suggestion was flatly rejected. I saw the faces of the director and factory workers turned white, like I had said something awful. But I truly had no idea. That's when they told me the legend. It was very weird to hear an old, tired-looking man with an absolutely serious face tell me that increasing the power could lead to a blackout in the entire city, and that was out of the question, and that the darkness would have attracted the monsters. I thought I had misheard. The evil yokai spirits were apparently wandering there and waiting for the dark to attack the tiny Japanese town. They even had a name for them. The Gashadokuro. Skeleton spirits living in the darkness. Of course, I didn't listen to anyone. I threatened them that we would terminate the contract if they didn't cooperate and increase the power. Thankfully, I had access to the necessary equipment. I was about to move out of the airport when everything started. The citizens, they were running in the streets in panic, locking themselves in their homes. Some of them were praying. The lights began to go off all over the city. I saw the whole town plunge into darkness with my own eyes. The electricity disappeared in district after district. I was feeling very lost when I suddenly saw a young woman calmly sitting on a bench amidst all the madness. What was wrong with her? It was like she didn't even notice what was going on around her. It was strange to see such an absolute calm. I got distracted by the taxi that came for me. I got inside and we went to the airport. We were too late. As soon as we got outside the city, the streetlights went out. The city was plunged into total darkness. The driver suddenly hit the brakes, but it was too late. The taxi drove into the car in front of it at full speed. I hit the dash after we collided. I think I lost consciousness. No, damn it, I don't want to remember it.
It's all right. You are safe now. Go on with your story.
I still can't forget what I saw back then. A giant skeleton was moving towards our car through the darkness. I would have thought I was insane, but the driver was seeing that as well. He jumped out of the car and ran towards the forest, screaming in terror. Although, I'm not sure the forest would have saved him. I'm not sure it was possible to hide from them at all. The skeleton reaches towards the driver and grabbed him like he was an insect, like he weighed nothing. And then I shut my eyes, but I could still hear everything. The bones crunching, screams, terror. After finishing off the poor guy, the skeleton moved towards me. Damn it, if I didn't do anything, it would have taken me next. I got into the driver's seat as fast as possible and tried to start the car. Come on, come on! I felt so desperate I hit the dash with my hand and turned on the headlamps by accident. That saved my life. The light cut through the darkness and fell on that monster. It immediately felt pain and disappeared, leaving only a slightly haze behind. Not for long, though. It appeared again where there was no light. It hesitated for a second, and that saved me. I turned the ignition and couldn't believe it. The car finally started. Why didn't I drive to the airport? The car wouldn't have made it. I was afraid it would die before I reached the city. Still, I decided to risk it. Except, it was hell in the city. Those skeletons, they were everywhere. They were walking around, huge, creepy, knowing no mercy. They snatched everyone they could, and damn it, I've just realized it's all real. Not a movie, not a nightmare. I got distracted for just a second, and the car crashed into a tree. The headlamps went out. I tried to get out of the car, but the seatbelt was jammed. I was trapped. The skeletons noticed me and went towards the sounds. Damn it, I had to hurry. I started searching in the car for anything useful and opened the glove compartment. An army knife fell out of it. I cut through the damn belt and got out of the car. I started running along the street. Although, I didn't have much hope I would survive at that point. But who could have thought that the director of the factory I'd argued with earlier that day would be the one to save me? He caught me at the corner and practically dragged me into some dirty basement. That's when I learned the whole truth. The Gashadokuro weren't fairy tales or make-believe. They had been a scary, disgusting reality for several centuries. They are born at moments when hundreds of people die and are made of concentrated sufferings before death. The giant skeletons appeared in Japan a lot of centuries ago, but then they disappeared. They say they were noticed again in 1945, after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
But why do they attack people?
Nobody knows that. Maybe they need people to suffer so that new Gashadokuro could be born. Yes, it was my mistake. I let that nightmare become reality. And I have to live with that. But what happened next was, we heard gunshots outside. Director and I looked at each other and, I'm sure of it, both thought the same thing. Soldiers. We were saved. We walked outside and saw your people shooting at the skeletons. Of course, I rushed towards them. I still believed we could be saved, but it seemed like one of the soldiers of the Foundation, no, I can't remember his number. He pushed me aside and said the Foundation's goal wasn't to save people. When it became obvious guns were doing nothing, and your soldiers got killed one by one, I felt a bit happy, to be honest. It was such horrible, ugly justice. And then we started running again. We couldn't stay in one place anymore. The skeletons, sensing the new victims, followed us. We decided to split up. My savior could no longer run, and I sent him to the Foundation camp. I hoped he would have a better chance to get help. I distracted those monsters. Hey! Ah! I'm here! Just screamed at the top of my lungs. While they were focused on me, the director managed to escape. And I kept running. And then, maybe I did have a guardian angel looking after me. I don't know. But when I'd lost all hope, I met her. That girl that had been the only one to stay calm in the doomed city. It was unbelievable. She was sitting in the exact same place I'd left her several hours before that. Just calmly sitting. Like all the insanity around had nothing to do with her. I shouted that she had to leave. To hide. How was she even still alive? Why did the creatures go past her without harming her? And then, she turned her face towards me. Everything became clear to me.
I don't see them, and they don't see me.
She calmly replied. She was blind. I felt scared and closed my eyes. It was like she could feel it because she said,
No, you must suffer.
She touched the hand in which I was clenching the sharp knife.
And what did you do?
What do you think? That's how I survived. The skeletons simply didn't notice me.
That's horrible.
Oh, really? Your foundation has no problem sacrificing people to study those creatures. That's what's horrible. How many of your employees have died already? But their suffering hadn't been in vain. They will be reborn as new Gashadokuro and come for you.
Well, you won't be so happy about it soon enough.
What? No! Get your hands off me!
I found out everything I needed. You will get an amnestic and lose your most recent memories.
No! I've told you everything! Why are you doing this?
Mr. Mason, you said it yourself. We don't value human lives. What's that? What's going on?
I have a surprise for you, too. Our company produces the lighting equipment for your camps, so the factory's director knows perfectly well how to turn it off. They have a camp nearby. Find it and power everything down. Get revenge for both of us. What are you willing to do to survive?